Inside, the lights are low. This isn't your typical lounge. This is where the forgotten tales gather, where the shadows have their say. We'll talk of monsters in the woods, of killers with a motive and lights in the sky, and ghosts in the attic. Come into the waiting room, please.
All right, tonight we got Janet Michalk.
My Chuck. My Chuck, not your Chuck.
She is a medium. She's an artist. I want to see some of her artwork, but I just saw something behind the scenes and it was really cool. And she's a spiritual advisor. Yeah, Janet, when did you learn that you were psychic? And do you see ghosts? And when did you get interested in the paranormal?
My whole life. It started me knowing that I had a gift was around when my grandpa died. And I saw him. He came to me after he died. Full body. He lifted me up out of bed and said, "Bye bye, baby." So I was about 4 or 5 back then. Yes, I see things. Not always. I have a little bit of all of the gifts. So I'm kind of a Jane of all trades. So I don't limit myself. I trust spirit to give me what I need when I need it and what I need when somebody else needs me. Did I answer all of them for you?
I think so, Janet. And Janet, and you help a lot of people. Am I correct about that?
Yes, I do. Directly and indirectly. So I have people that are constantly referring me, and my contract with the universe is that the people that need me will find me. And boy, that is about the truest statement ever. They come to me in some of the weirdest ways. So I trust that implicitly.
Are we expecting a fourth? Are we expecting a sixth person, Paul?
We were, but I don't see her, so don't worry about it.
Peace Unhinged.
Oh yeah, bring her on.
Yeah. Okay.
Peace. Okay. Pino.
The haters ending.
You haven't seen him pop on. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
All right, so Janet, we need to hear what. Hi, Peace. How you doing, hon?
Hey, Peace,
Hey,
So
Peace.
I want to hear about some of the weirdest ways people have come to you.
Well,
Wow.
how much do I want to? Okay, well, I had a bud tender that came to deliver something for me, and which I don't do that anymore, but she came along and so she was delivering and I started getting information and I started talking. I generally do not remember what I say because it's not mine. I give it and there it is. Unless it's really intense. And so I saw this person and I started talking and she started crying. And it was partially for her, but it was more for her best friend. And so like within a week, her best friend and she came here for a reading and they've been coming to me since.
Oh, wow. That's nice, though. So stuff just like starts popping up out of nowhere when you say,
Yes.
How do you go out in public? Have you learned how to
I'm
turn
very
it off?
careful. I'm very
Okay.
yes, I can turn it off.
Okay.
I can turn it down.
Okay.
And I use shields, and I trust spirit implicitly. So my spirit team, I just say, "Hey, please help me," And they do. I did go to the Capitol, and I'm telling on myself a little bit during a protest. Sorry if I offend anybody. That is not that's not what I'm here to do.
Yeah, we don't deal with that kind of stuff. So however you believe is how you believe, sweetheart.
It was the very first one at the Capitol. And I'm standing there and I've got some people asking me questions. So I started opening up a little bit, and I had two spirits from the Capitol come in.
Oh no.
And I was down for 2 weeks after that because I wasn't ready for it.
Do you remember who it was?
I know one was a cat, which was really interesting. But no, because I shut it down quick. I know that it was it was an ex-governor.
Oh, okay.
Somebody that had passed. I do know that. But honey, really, like I said, I just went, oh no.
No.
We're not doing that. So I was hugging a tree really quick.
I don't blame you. Yeah, get grounded quick. Oh my gosh. And gosh, that must be so insane that, just stuff starts popping up here and there.
I say it's fun to be me.
Yeah.
It really is fun to be me. I just don't have I don't think negatively about it at all. I know that I'm to give the messages that I'm meant to give. I can tell you, backtracking back to that moment, the lady that had started asking me questions, she goes, well, what do you see with this circumstance right now? And I kept seeing the word and hearing the word war. And then right after I had said that, the speaker started saying, we're at war. We're at war. So it was like an immediate confirmation of what I was getting at that moment. Yeah. And she slaps me in the back. She goes, war. And she said it so many times.
Okay, you can stop slapping me now.
No, it wasn't horror. It was just like, hey, you were right.
Oh my goodness.
When someone connects with you, or when you make a connection to a spirit, do you get a visual, or is it a vocal? Is it a feeling? How does that work?
I get kind of everything. I will, if it's a really strong message, I'll see the word. I will get snippets of images. So it's really quick. I mean, really quick. So it's like I'll start seeing in my mind's eye snippets of things. And then I try my best, or do my best. I don't try. I do my best to say what I'm seeing. Sometimes I will hear audibly what I'm supposed to say. And sometimes I know, but really strongly feeling. So I was an empath before. I knew I was an empath before I knew I was anything else.
So with the ex-governor, how were you able to identify him as an ex-governor? Was it a visual?
Because I got the word governor.
Got the word governor. So you didn't get a visual of his face or the way he was
Oh, goddess, no. I went, nope. We're not doing that right now. That was not a good time for me. I had thousands of people around me. And if I'm open, I can't, then I'm open to whatever is directly around me. So, I mean, literally, oh yeah, that's right. Not only did I feel it hit me in the back, it also, like, I got this vibration that was so intense that I went, because it just like electricity went through my body. And I was like, oh, I'm in really deep doo-doo right now. It was not fun at that moment to be me. At that moment.
Did you get any type of Anything more than just governor, a name, nothing like
No
that?
name, just support.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
the time period, no way to pinpoint anything like that.
It was, hang on. Let me just
Sorry,
tap
I'm
into
just
it for a second.
I'm a history buff. I actually spent a lot of time at the Sacramento.
Okay,
Capitol.
if you can see what I'm doing, when they do this to me, that means
Yeah.
it's a long time.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm going back now. I wouldn't say the early 1900s is what I'm getting. And I know nothing about that time period. So
Did you get the impression that he passed away on the grounds?
no, he did not.
Okay.
He was coming in during that time. So it's the feeling I got from him was, I'm not stuck, which is the first thing I ask a spirit when, thank you, you're bringing things back for me. The first thing I am asking is, are you stuck? No, I'm not stuck. But that zing was enough for me to just go, I can't. And I told him that I can't do this. He was very respectful. He backed right off, but it was like, it was intense. It was an intense experience. In fact, I'm getting, my gut is tightening with it, just going back just a moment. So sorry.
in your sorry. In your yeah, with all this throughout your life, are most or all spirits willing to kind of back off, or have
Oh,
you?
goddess, no. Nope.
So just offhand, like, what was one of the ones that you can think of that like maybe like your worst spirit that was trying to get to you and just would not back off? Which one was that, and why were they so persistent?
Okay, that one's really clear for me. One of my best friends, I was doing a reading after her mom passed. Her mom died of Alzheimer's or dementia. It was one of those. And she was not a very good mom to my friend. And there was a lot of guilt and wanting to mend. And at that moment, my friend was open, but not completely open to all it. And my guides were telling me, be careful, just be careful. And so I'm like, I also get personalities. So I was picking up on her personality on top of this. And she's all, that's my mom. That's my mom. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And I asked her to back away, and she absolutely, absolutely refused. And so I had to tell my friend, I'm like, you're going to have to hang on. I got to get control of this situation. So, yeah.
Sorry. So did you use your like spirit guides to help get her under control, kind of wrangle her in and
It was that and me putting my shield up and saying, you don't get to take me over, because sometimes that does happen. She was trying to channel through me, and that is not a being I want channeling. There's only been one that I've absolutely trusted to channel, and she was not that.
All right. So who is that you actually, has it only been one time ever in your life, or
oh god, no, I've channeled a few.
Okay.
And I'm very picky and choosy about who I allow to speak through me.
Well, I don't blame
you. Yeah, you will never hear this story outside of me telling it.
Okay.
Unless I had my friend help me tell it, which she was at that time, a sheriff. Oh, this one's gonna make me cry. It always does.
I don't want to make you cry.
No, this was just like such a big deal, this particular incident. And every time I think about this, and he's helped me more than once in spirit. So he's
Okay.
wonderful. He was a helicopter sheriff.
Oh,
And what got me to how he got to me was I heard a police helicopter go over. And it was like, as soon as that happened, he started channeling through me.
okay.
And he was, excuse my French, pissed off. I mean, really, really pissed. And I was pacing, I was angry. I mean, I felt everything he felt. And what happened is his murder, he was murdered. And they were not doing as much as they should have done.
Yeah.
And so finally my friend said, would you be willing to go out to where he was murdered? And I said, absolutely. So we started driving out there, and I told her, you need to turn here. And she says, no, that's not where he was.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, take me where he was. And so we went there, and they knew about one vehicle, but not the other. So I was able to give them more information about that. And in the field where he was dragged, literally he was dragged, behind a vehicle.
Oh my
And
God.
I saw the hook that was attached to him,
Oh,
and they had thrown it into the field. Now, this is years after the incident had happened, years. And I drew it and I said, it's this way, it's here. And sure enough, they went back out there and they found the hook, and it had
wow.
the DNA still on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. And yeah, it was an intense experience. And I channeled him more than once. They were going to, they had one of the suspects was in jail at that time, and I said, do not let this guy out. Don't let him out, because if you do let him out, he's going to Mexico and he's going to disappear. Sure. And they caught him just before the border.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, Peace and Stacy, don't you guys also do some channeling? Am I correct? Peace, you do, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do a lot of different types of work when it comes to my psychic abilities. I'm not just one. I have, clairaudience, clairsentience,
Yep.
Yeah, my clairs are pretty much on, all the way down to the smell.
Yeah.
You're making bread, I can smell your bread.
Yeah, then there's all those different clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clairaudience, clairsentience, yes, I do a lot of channeling, and I've actually worked on a few murders myself. So here on the island, actually, because here on the island, they like to bury it because, of course, we're in Hawaii. So they don't want people to think, it's a destination island. It's supposed to be this magical, tropical fucking place. Excuse my French, but I'm fluent. And they hide it. And my bio on Facebook says I'm a psychic astrologer and spiritual life coach and Reiki master that says fuck a lot. So I have no filter. With that said, we had a murder actually not last year, but the year before. The woman was murdered at one of our villas, and her brother and stepdad came to me the very next day. And immediately I just felt like something hit me like right here in the head. And it was so, because every little thing matters, especially when it comes to your psychic abilities. It's like, you may not understand. I don't get headaches. So the fact that I felt like I got hit in the head at that very moment, I did ask, I was like, she was found with a lump on the side of her head. And they were like, yeah. But see, like I said, Hawaii, we don't have the resources to do all of this stuff. And again, a lot of people do come up missing. And I told them, I said, listen, they're not going to go any further than trying to bury the story. You're not going to see it in the news. You're the one that's going to have to keep it alive. Like, that's just how it works. We also have a fisherman that just came up missing a couple of months ago. He was out on his boat. He went out by himself fishing. He came up missing. He's still missing to this day. And the family had contacted me and I did readings for them. I was able to tell them about the 2 houses, where he went out of, and the fact that you will never find him. Like, he's gone. I was able to pull that he was an alcoholic. There was a lot of things that were going on in his life. And he wants them to sell one of the houses, but he wants to keep the other house for a daughter that I didn't even know the guy. Those types of readings I do not charge for because they're so intimate and they're so like it. I don't need to make money off of that kind of stuff. Yes, I have a business, but those things are kind of close to home. And for me, I love crime scene. I love anything to do with like murder or disappearances or, any of that kind of stuff. That's really my forte. There was another little girl over in Oahu that came up missing. And I actually still have the card spread on my phone that I was able to come up with. The family had contacted me. They found me on YouTube and were followers of mine when she came up missing and she was in foster care. And when you look at the little girl, immediately, nobody was touching her. She was standing there and everybody else was linked, but nobody was actually touching her. And they didn't know who did it. And I said, well, the father did it. This little kid's going to tell that the father did it. Mom's over here acting like everything's okay. And I said, but this kid has knowledge. I said, they won't find the bones till years later. Somebody will be at a higher level, like hiking or in a plane or something. And that's when they'll see where she is. Come to find out, about 3 weeks later, the little kid did tell on the parents. They're both now been prosecuted. They were the foster parents, and the baby's bones have still not been found. And the only reason why I did that one, she came up missing on my birthday, and I was adopted.
Peace, I know where you can stay busy at the Alaska Triangle. Since 1978, 16,000 people are missing. That'll keep you busy.
That, those types of things are actually, like, I don't want to say fun because I don't want to sound like morbid or anything like that, but I love, like, the little puzzle pieces and stuff and being able to put them together. And like she was saying, every little bit counts. It's like you might see a name or you might see a synchronicity or you might see the messages. Like for me, I get messages before, like, weeks or sometimes in advance, and I don't know why I needed to see what I needed to see. It didn't make any sense to me, but then I'll do a reading for someone else, and then I'll tell them, they'll spark something in me. It brings me back to the memory, and then I'm able to share that with them, and it always resonates with what they're got going on, not me. I don't need to know what your messages mean. You just need to know what they mean.
Yeah. And the only channeling that I do is on the TV channel.
Yeah. Technically, I mean, right down to it, if we're going to be honest, everybody has a psychic ability. Every single person has a psychic ability. That's how you know, like when you're walking down the street and you see a dark alley and something inside of you tells you to run, and you run, and then the next day you look on the news and something pops up and you're like, wow, that's your psychic ability. I think that most people are always looking for these big blinking lights. Like, that's it right there. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. But at the end of the day, it's these little tiny signs and synchronicities. Like you see a little ladybug on a kid's shirt, and then you hear the word ladybug, and then you log into social media and you see a ladybug. That right there is a message. But people are always looking for these big blinking signs, but they come in so many different fashions. It might be an animal or an insect or a bird or dreams. I am able to do dream interpretations. My dreams, that's how I ended up with the tattoo on my hand. And my mom came to tell me in my dream that I was going to be a grandma. I went to the tattoo, got it 2 weeks later as I'm sitting there waiting for the ink. All of a sudden, my daughter calls and says, "Are you ready to be a grandma?" while I'm getting the tattoo that my mom gave me in the dream. So we all have it, but when we're doing it, it can end up in like hieroglyphics. It's like these little symbols and signs and synchronicities. You don't know what they mean, but then if you write down your dream journal, all of a sudden they come about. So We all have them. That's how mothers know that their child fell down in the playground while they were at school. They call it mother's intuition. It's also a psychic ability. We're all attached.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that on Janet?
Yes.
Janet,
Absolutely.
Janet, if I remember right, you lived in Citrus Heights, correct?
Did.
I want to know if when you were doing your channeling, did you realize that the Golden State Killer was living in Citrus Heights?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, okay.
See, I keep myself away from like those kinds of stories because I want everything I have to be authentic. I'm really picky about my life. I don't watch the news. I choose not to because I never know if something is going to happen other than when I'm very connected to Mother Earth and when things are going to happen like volcanoes or landslides or I get those and I will look that up because I get the feeling in my body and I know it's coming. So yeah. But
Wait,
I'll tell you, Janet, you need to start teaching the young people how to be a little bit more connected to freaking Mother Earth and touch grass. Because, I've even noticed myself that I've become pretty far connected since I can't get out and do my walking through the woods and things like that. So, I mean, it's crazy to me, some of the stuff that's going around. But yeah, so where are you at right now?
just Highlands.
Oh, you're in High. Okay, alrighty.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
my daughter's in Citrus Heights right now.
Yeah. I didn't want to be here, but this is where they placed me.
It is.
Also, see Janet, I can see trying to stay positive and everything. But if you're a spiritual advisor, don't you have some people that have a lot of negativity that they throw out on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But usually when people are finding me, they're ready for that. They're ready for change. They're ready to do the work finally. Because that's what my agreement is to do that. Is to say, okay, this person needs a teacher for a while. And generally, honestly, I'm their first teacher. And then they move on. And I tell them always, you and I are probably not going to always be, I'm not always going to be your teacher. And guess what? You're also mine. So, yes, I mean, it's John Q. Public is what I call it. When that's the hard time for me. When you asked me to come on to your show, how long ago was that? Everything kept happening to keep me from doing this. Last night, when you asked me, I asked my guides, and they're like, "You don't get to hide anymore." I'm like,
"Oh,
I do hide, and I don't get to do that anymore." And so that's why I had already decided that it was a yes.
Yeah, life's too short, sweetheart.
Yeah.
It's just get out there and live it.
Well, my love, what happens is when you feel everybody's pain, and
I do. I'm an empath.
And I'm a Reiki master also. So
Yeah.
I'm a hypnotist, a Reiki. I've got, but I'm an empath really strongly. So I have to really ground and put my shields up before I go outside. Unless I'm in my garden, and that's my happy place.
Janet, I gotta tell you, we got about 6 minutes, and then we're going to be shut off.
Yes.
Well, we're going to take a 10-minute break. You're going to get a second link. And while we're waiting for it to shut down, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Okay. The Paranormal Soul Brother has a cat that was sick. And I was wondering if all of us, if you can lead us into a little prayer for the cat, because we all love animals.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Really.
Absolutely.
I don't know you how to say kitty kitty.
Yeah.
My little macchiato is
Peace is saying you can't hear. Peace can't hear.
I can hear. I can hear.
Okay.
Okay, now I
Peace
can
can't
hear
hear us.
So,
Make it
Jenny,
easy.
go ahead and lead us into prayer for Zandia's cat, please.
Okay. Gods, goddesses, Mother Earth, and all of the guides and angels that are here to help this poor kitten, this poor kitty. I used to call all cats kittens. Please surround this beautiful, loving being with healing, loving light. We all know that we cannot control life or death, but we can give the healing that is meant for this beautiful, beautiful being. This being that deserves to be healed in whatever way is for the highest good of everyone involved with this beautiful cat. Blessings to all, surrounded by love, understanding, and acceptance. And so it is. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
And so it is.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Janet. That was so, that was from the deepest part of your Crimson piece. I really appreciate that. Wow. That
You
was
are very welcome.
My cat's gonna be okay now. I really, I felt.
Seeing the animal sick. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I know. It gets you. It gets you. But you know, whatever power you believe in, they always talk about whether it's Jesus, whether it's an alien. They talk about frequencies matching. And when she was saying her prayer, you know, I'm sure all our lights matched at that point. You know, and that's what I felt going to Machi. That was beautiful.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you have to make sure you give it good hugs and kisses and lots of loves from us.
Yes, yes. And placing your hands on your kitty and without expectation, my love. That is really important. Without expectation, because you have your own wants and desires, but that kitty has its own soul path.
Yeah.
Okay. And that might not look like, oh, hello, beautiful baby. What your heart and your soul is wanting. So that is why, with the highest good of both.
Yeah.
But you have healing in the palms of your hands, my love. Everybody does.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at that energy.
Yes.
And while you were doing the prayer, my cat was sticking its tail up with my nose. So
It's either that or your coffee or your drink or your food or something. So
Let's got the black cat.
Yeah.
I keep saying black cat too.
it's happened to you, I can tell.
You'll have 7 dogs and 3 cats.
Bill, you do?
Yes.
Actually, right. I have 11 dogs in the house right now, and 5 cats.
Yeah.
It's
I had a lot with 4 cats.
I got the cat.
And
So
wow.
it's an
I got
animal
7
shelter.
cats.
It
I
is.
have two pit bulls, 4 inside-outside cats, and then feed the strays in the area and
I do too.
Me too.
and,
Yeah.
and give them medication when they get sick during the changes of the season.
I had 2 feral colonies in Sacramento that I fed before, when I lived there for 23 years, and I handed them off to volunteers when I left to California.
Oh.
So,
That's
Yeah.
all far. Oh,
Sacramento was great about the spay and neuter program they had.
yes, yes,
Wow.
yes, we are.
He's a little baby.
Look at that.
Little
Beautiful.
two-faced.
Yeah. Right down the middle.
Goddess Freya.
And then I've got this one here. Hopefully you get to see her.
Oh.
Okay, that was a stray that decided she was ours. So she came in. Oh, that's the cutest dog.
He loves you, huh?
My girlfriend, she always said that, especially the black cats always find their witch. So,
Yes,
and
yes.
I've got like 3 black cats, 2 of them outside, 1 of them inside, a completely gray cat. She's completely inside. And then I've got a Javanese, which is the white and gray,
Oh, yeah.
kind of Siamese looking, but it's white and gray and then blue eyes.
Yes, I have one of those.
Yeah, Javanese. Yes.
I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
But I've got two black cats inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 4 black kitties that constantly are here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yes, and I would show you my sign, my witch sign that's outside. But yeah, it's a home for all wayward kitties.
Kitties, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw that one before I was gonna put that on our door because we feed like recording. Oh, there it is.
Janet, you're back again. Okay, tell us all about yourself. Some of the cases you've worked on. You don't have to divulge any names, but just tell us some of the stuff that you do.
Okay, well, I do quite a few readings, and just like Peace was saying, I'll get information in my dreams the night before the reading. I also do group readings. I'm a Reiki master and master of none. I hate to use the master word because it just hits me wrong. I'm a hypnotist. And a guided imagery specialist, artist. Let's see, what are some of the others? I mean,
I want to see some of your artwork. You showed us one behind the scenes.
well, I could take you over to where they are.
Okay, let's do that. Let's see
Here's
which
one is my helping hand.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, but I'm going to take you over to my dragons because those are my heart. So just let me know up or down.
I love that. I am so into dragons.
Oh, so am I. Okay. And then I've got pyramids everywhere.
Oh, I'm gonna have to put it on the bigger screen.
Whoa.
Can you see my wolf?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
And then literally dragons everywhere.
Oh, wow. So do you make those all out of resin?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And these guys are super fun. Hang on, let me grab one.
Okay, so just a question about the resin stuff. So do you have to buy the molds for that, or can you make molds for that? Okay, so you do have to buy them.
I do buy my molds. Yes. Oh.
All right.
My goddess goblet. Can you see her?
Oh, that is gorgeous. Yeah. I love it.
Cool.
Aww.
And then my little baby dragons.
Oh my gosh.
They're my hatchlings.
They're so cute. I love those.
So we have candle holders.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, go over to the over a little bit.
Oh, wait,
it's hard to it was hard to see them because it's not in front. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful work.
Everybody loves this one because and with these guys I paint their eyes, so I kind of that's how their souls come in.
Right.
I love. But let me see.
Now, do you use beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can you now with resin, do you use acrylic paint?
It is epoxy resin.
Paint?
It's not acrylic. No. Oh, I do have to show you this guy.
Okay.
Huh. Do you see the pyramid there? Can you see the pyramid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that one was given to me my guide kept telling me, you need to make this. You need to make this. You need to make a chakra pyramid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And he's like, well, yeah, you do, because I'll tell you how to make it. And
Oh, awesome.
yeah, so that was given to me by spirit. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you can actually sit under that because it's got a copper metal that you can, it surrounds
Like
you,
a
so
Faraday
it
cage.
magnifies it.
What, Zen?
Like a Faraday cage. It probably negates
Yes.
all the electromagnetic frequencies, RF,
Yep.
RF and EMF, everything. Yeah, it's probably
Yep.
really good
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
And the stones that I
Negative
have in
ionizer.
there are to help align your chakras.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got a question about your guides. Have they been the same? Or, well, first of all, when did you meet them? Have they been the same, or do they change out?
I've had different ones. The first one that I knew about was a dragon. So that was really fun. And when I was going through some spiritual training, the people that I went to didn't like the idea that I had a dragon wrapped around me. Well, I wished I had been stronger about that, because they were like, "Oh no, you can't have that." And no, that's my protector.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. With the one guide, I call him Bob because he's he's from Middle Egypt. And the only way I've seen him is seeing his sandals and his garb going up. And he told me his name a couple of times, and he just said, "Just call me Bob." I'm never gonna remember it. I was like, okay. And he said it doesn't matter anyway. I have a Fae guardian. She's Fae, and she's a guide, and her name is Glinda. And she's beautiful. Absolutely love her. Christ is one of my guides.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've had Bob for quite a while. When I started really getting into meeting my guides and learning how to expand, that's when he showed up. I've had him for well over 15 years. Glenda, she doesn't show up a whole lot with me, but she's in the background always. Jesus has just always been with me. And if I'm really honest about it, Jesus was my first guide.
Yeah.
And I actually saw him when I went through something really bad when I was young.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
honey.
And he came along and said, "You're not alone. I'm here with you." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've been told to tell you guys this because it is kind of important.
Okay.
Sometimes when you get into your gifts, now Peace understands a lot of that, and whoever else is really into spirituality and spirits guides and whatever. But what really woke me up is I had a really devastating attack in my sleep. Now, I saw it before it happened. And what I ended up doing is moving away from the place, thinking if this is a ghost, I'm out of here. If this is precognition, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be here. And the very next day, the owner came along asking for a manager for another one of his properties. And I'm like, oh, me. I moved there. And 2 months later, it happened.
Oh,
and that was my opening. That was my huge opening.
dang.
Huge opening. So it's just being aware of what your openings are. They don't have to be as intense, but we get them. We get things happen to us for us that help us along our path.
Well, that's how Peace Oh, I was gonna say that's how peace kind of ended up being so open, is because she was dealing with a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul was my exorcist. That's how I met
Yep.
Paul, was he was actually my exorcist. A lot of
Yeah.
the time when you do come into your psychic abilities, it does come through traumatic events. It could be a
Yes.
death in the family. It can be through drugs and alcohol. So a lot of people who, go through those experiences end up in prison. You don't always have to end up in prison, but because you're kind of teetering between the life and death cycle and stuff.
Right.
And so it's like now you have two choices, live or die. And then same thing with trauma. You lose a husband or you lose a wife or child or, a significant part of your family. And that can really throw people through a loop. And then it takes them through an ego death, which can also spark your awakening. And then, you start coming through the process of becoming. It's not always a beautiful journey. I mean, people think it's all butterflies and rainbows, but there's a lot of demons and dragons in between that you do have to slay. So I know like many people who have come into their unique gifts usually have gone through something extremely traumatic in their life, which completely then you go through the awakening process and then you start realizing everything around you is just an illusion. Then it kind of opens you up to spirits and spirit guides. And, everybody has their things. Some of us have more than one or two or three.
Yep.
Usually when you're in the spiritual practice, it's because, you start off as one and then all these layers start to unfold. Through my demonic possession with, when I met Paul, there was so many different hectic things that were going on in my life that literally were killing me. And then I had scratches down my back and they would come on in front of people. And I got down to 109 pounds soaking wet with boots on with no soul even in my eyes. And then after going through that demonic possession and, having rocks flying across, and then, it started opening me up to all these other channels. And like you said, Reiki master, like I don't have a problem saying I'm a Reiki master. I work with energy. We're all source energy, and then we tune into different frequencies and stuff. So whether it's spirit guides, some people use Jesus, I use the archangels, but I also use the trees and the sun and the moon and the stars. And, I work in astrology. So everybody kind of finds their niche. And as we evolve through our spiritual practices and stuff, it really does kind of open the doors for more things that you're called into. Like I do a lot of shamanistic work working here in the islands, so when you're doing the spiritual work, you're not just doing the work of like one thing, and a lot of the time you can't turn it off. It's like you do everything in your power to turn off a lot of the messages that do come through, and they only get stronger. And you're not actually doing yourself a service. You're doing yourself a disservice by shutting them down, because regardless of the messages that are coming in, and even if they're uncomfortable, we are still supposed to express them. That's why we were used as the conduit to get that person that message. So you have to be really mindful. There are some things like for me, I'm a very cutthroat psychic astrologer. Nothing is off the table. I work with, sex crime victims. I work with child abuse. I mean, I work in every single realm, death, rebirth, all of that, awakenings. Like there's nothing off the table. Sex, all of it is something that is part of life, and you don't get to skip over that when you're going through these psychic experiences and stuff. And so when you shut down those types of messages, you're actually creating more karma for yourself and making it harder on you when you do it. So, it's just say what needs to be said. It might not make sense to you, and it's not all, like I said, butterflies and rainbows, especially in spirituality. It's called reality for a reason. And again, the reality of a person's situation that they might need to hear, even though we're uncomfortable telling you that. I'm not. I'm like, I'll tell you, watch my YouTube channel. It's Peace Unhinged Tarot, and I get unhinged. I just say it for how it is, whether you like it or not. Facts don't care about your feelings, especially in this line of work, because again, you end up taking on their karma, and all of us are being used as conduits for spirit. Children are used, you're being used. You might not think you have a psychic ability, yet you do, and that's why somebody's like, oh, well, my grandpa used to say that. Yeah, that's weird, because I never used to say that. And then something told me I needed to tell you that. and then it triggers something in them, and then it's like a chain of events that happens after that. You know,
It's so funny. I never say that I'm a psychic, but there's a few things that happened to me where it seems like I was a psychic. I had a coworker that took me to this nightclub with her boyfriend. And as soon as I walked in there, it's like my spider sense was going off. And I felt danger, danger, danger. And something kept on telling me in my head, get out of there, get out of there. And I went with them in their car, and I just had to walk out. And so I walked out, and I was in front of the nightclub. And 1 hour later, someone gets stabbed. And then all these people are rushing out. And I go, what the hell? What happened? So-and-so got stabbed. Some person got stabbed. I go, holy cow, something told me to leave that nightclub.
Yeah.
we all
Thank
have
goodness.
it. We all have it. And again, people are looking for these big blinking lights. Like, that's it. That's it. And it's really these subtle nudges. And you don't know why you're feeling that way, but you're feeling like that. Like somebody invites you to a party and you're like, something's telling me I don't want to go, but that other person is like pressuring you to do it.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and then it ends up being the crappiest night of your life, or you get in a fight, or something bad happens, but you didn't listen to that little nudge, that little niggle inside of you. Like I was talking about earlier, when you're walking past that dark alleyway and something's telling you, don't do it. Everybody has that psychic ability. Just some of us have the balls to say we're doing it, even though it might piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
I never thought it was. Yeah, I never thought it was anything. I thought everybody was like me. I was born with it. Empaths are born. Yeah. So
I gotta ask, Phil, Zandine, have you guys ever experienced what I was talking about? You like going someplace and feeling danger?
I just thought it
my
was
own house.
being aware of your surroundings. But you see, I grew up in
Jersey.
trailer park projects. You had your head on a swivel.
Yep,
Otherwise you're going to get your rear end handed to you. So, the dopes that walked around looking up like that, they were the ones who got hurt.
Yeah.
So you can
Mm-hmm.
feel energy in a room when you walk in. I think anybody who can't feel that is, you're going to walk into some things. I don't, maybe that is psychic. I always just thought it was street smart. We used to just call it being street smart.
No, it's a
Comes
psychic
from the
ability.
caveman days.
Yeah, it's a psychic ability when you're able to walk into a room and then I always tell people, call it out. Like you walk into a room and all of a sudden you feel something. Normally you're like, everything okay? And somebody ends up saying something, they're like, yeah, I got in a fight before I got here, or I got a ticket on my way over. And it's like, okay, like, I hope you have a better rest of your day, but like, let's cut the energy, and either one of two things is going to happen. Either A, the person's going to get a phone call and they get called into work, or B, they're going to shift their energy so that they can actually stay in alignment with where you are. They have to vibrate at the same energy frequency as you do. Otherwise, you'll end up being the one leaving. You'll get a stomach ache and diarrhea. That's all part of the psychic ability. Your body is tuned into all the frequencies. So like when you're listening to someone talk, and how you can tell somebody's full of shit is like your stomach is going to tighten up and push out. And it's because your body is rejecting what this individual is telling you. And everything in your soul is like, there's something wrong with this. They're lying. This is not right. And then later on, everybody's thinking you're the mean one because you're like, I don't like that lady. Like, I don't like that dude. Everybody's like mad at you, but your intuition's spot on and they want to be oblivious and not look at the reality. But again, that's where all these psychic abilities come from, is these little nudges. And your body is a record keeper to it all. Your body will tell you everything you need to know. And if something's not feeling right, then don't do it.
You mentioned something about going to the bathroom, and I do have a story. When I was a kid, we moved around a lot. One of the houses we lived in was from 1600s, believe it or not. I mean, it was pre-Civil War, and anyways, so this house was built by a ship's captain in like late 1600s.
Wow.
Anyways, so it was actually owned by a lawyer who served in the Navy with Richard Nixon. During World War
Wow.
II. And so,
That's
anyways,
so cool.
he died in the house, and
Oh.
his office was on the back side of the house, and all of his records for him being a lawyer were left in his office. And so I used to go in there as I was a teenager, freshman year of high school type thing, and I would go in there and read his case records because they were fascinating. They were all from the 1950s, and he was a criminal attorney, so they were like rapes and murders and things like that. He was from the 1950s, and I would go in there and read these case records, and I could only stay in that room. It was cold. That room was the coldest room in the house, even in the summertime. And I could only stay in that room for maybe 15 minutes at a stretch without getting the irresistible urge to go take a crap. and I had to get out of there.
Yeah, well, it's your stomach telling you, because you have 3 brains in the body, right? You have the brain, the heart, and the gut. Those are your 3 brains. And if we can learn how to tune into all 3 of those brains, we can actually avoid a lot of, it's not like you can fully avoid it, but you can kind of, neutralize it a little bit, like notice it faster and be like, okay, this is not a good idea. And, it's because too, buildings that old, the walls are record keepers, like the wood, everything is a record keeper. It holds energy in it. So like, say there's a shooting inside of an old tavern or something, and you're doing a ghost hunt. There's going to be, when you touch that wall, there's going to be an energy or a portal. And it sounds to me, because that's where the hub was with all the history. And that's probably where a lot of conversations were had. It's more, and there's a portal inside that room. And I think Paul would actually agree that would be where the portal is and where they can come in and out, because
Right.
that's where the veil is going to be the most thin.
Absolutely.
And that's why your stomach was hurting, of like, you were feeling the dredge of the room, of the energy, because we're all source energy, even when we die. Like, we don't go away, we just drop the avatar, right?
I was drawn to go back though. As much as I would go to the bathroom, and I'd want to go right back in there, because I found a letter that he had written to Richard Nixon during the Vietnam time period where he wanted to go to Vietnam, and he was really disappointed that he was refused any type of role over there because of his age.
Wow.
And it was a personal letter to him saying, we served together, and I'm sorely disappointed that you can't find some use for me in some capacity over there to serve my country, considering our history together. And I thought we were such good friends. I mean, it was really fascinating stuff, and I've always been a history buff. And so I was just drawn to that room, and I would pour through the guy's papers. And
that is so cool.
15 minutes out of clip, and I had to be out there.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
I love that.
Hey, I have a Nixon story. When I was a little boy, I went and got one of these Who's Who in America, Who's Who in the West, or whatever.
Okay.
And I looked up Pat Nixon, Nixon's wife, and got her address and wrote her a letter and said, "Can I get your autograph?" And she sent me a card and she signed it. My mother accidentally lost that autograph, and that autograph is probably worth money.
Yeah. Lady Bird, but then they call her Lady Bird.
But that's Lyndon Johnson's wife.
Oh,
Right.
Johnson. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was her. Yeah.
What?
Good.
Yeah. Further back.
I want my Pat Nixon autograph.
I know, right? Oh my God.
Anyway,
Maybe Janet can get a hold of her and tell her to write something else down.
Go ahead, Zandine. Sorry.
Yeah,
So no, Phil, those feelings that you had, I mean, also, whether it's psychic, it's matter, it's energy, your vagus nerve, if 2 people finish fighting and they walk into the room and you're in that room, you can feel that in your vagus nerve right up to your brain. And that's physical. But then also, people like people like Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who did experiments at CERN, where she proved that in a vacuum, when you have molecules, if you're looking at them, it's reality, it's working. If you're not, they're not even activated. So what you're looking at that point in time, they started proving that that's what matters, like what your focus is. But then when she disappeared, after doing our research at CERN, but she proved the molecules that people were focused on, like you said, hey, this is a red coat. If humans were looking at it and had the energy, those molecules would act that way. But if nobody was looking at them in a vacuum, they would be invisible. But then you also had a doctor. You also had a doctor, Sarah Chin, who talked about. Or she actually was able to reverse aging. But when you think about power of the mind or power of healing, it could be in the mind, because she figured out that not just telomeres, extending them or taking caps off of them. She realized that there was a switch that actually aging wasn't an inevitable thing; it was just a program. If you switch the program, so then here's the thing of magical mind. Somebody's healing; they're a master of whatever. So just like Imhotep, the great Egyptian scientist and doctor, Hippocrates' teacher, he said, "Know thyself." So if you know yourself, if you got your Reiki master, if you're healer, whatever, if you can heal yourself, you can start healing others, I'm sure. So, I feel about that. And as far as with the energies and practices, I mean, I was raised in Catholic school. I was baptized a Baptist, and I studied, everybody else's religion. But what I found out was that for me, my ancestral, the stuff that I wasn't taught, that predated the stuff that I was learning, that was fascinating, to know that there's stuff like 200,000 years old, prayers in, say Hebrew, but they're 200,000 years old. And they're about Elohim, and they talk about Elohim, which is a 6,000-year-old book, so those energies and things that have been passed down, they've always been here. If you talk about fairy beings, light beings with magic, the Khoisan, 200,000 years old, they had light beings, but then you had the Celtics and the Druids who had light beings, 1500 BCE, where they have the same things going, and all the time since the beginning of time. So if you're tapping into them, you're tapping into them, however you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always been here, so whoever your highest source is, you can say you're a shaman, you can say you're a priestess, whatever you are, but like when you get scared, who the hell do you call out to? Who like at that point, what's your highest source of power? Is it yourself? But like I said, they've proven that you can manipulate reality with enough energy. So where does that fit in with your God or whatever? Is that and God, a God wouldn't have a human child, a God would have a God as a child, right? Or the highest source would have the highest source as a child. So that means, are we gods? Are we the highest source? I think so.
Yes. We are all God source energy.
Yes.
God source energy is not something outside of self. That's why we have the power of manifestation. We are God source energy. It's not some dude in the sky that's like puppet.
Yeah, you'll find the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea, so you might as well look inside.
Exactly. And everything comes from within. And I wanted to touch on something that you said, like if we can heal ourselves, we can heal others. We don't heal others. We show them what it's like and can align them to it. It's up to them to do the healing process.
That's right.
It's like that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can only do so much for an individual, and you can show them what their life is like if they are willing to go through the healing process. But that means that they have to dig deep. And some people don't want to go that deep. Some people, and that's why they stay in the frequency of, victimization, or again, drugs, sex, alcohol, codependent behaviors, so that they don't have to go through the seriousness of actually tuning into their own frequency and digging all that stuff up, because it can be ugly and it can be deadly.
Well, like what you said about frequency, they had some pictures I was talking about earlier with Jesus. It was an alien talking to this gentleman that helped him fix his saucer. He asked him, "Hey, well, do you know about Jesus?" He said, "Sure, we know about Jesus of Nazareth. We liked what he was about. We actually we know more about it than you do." And he was like, "Well, what do you mean?" So he said, "Well, we record some of these things." So he said, "Well, let me see what you got." So he showed him his hologram, and it showed him healing. He says, "Well, I can't hear anything." He says, "That's not what we want you to see." He said, "Look at this man. He's touching this other man. See their different colors?" He said, now, he says, "You watch the color of the person that's being healed elevates to the color of the man that they were calling Jesus. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And then,
Yeah.
so what she said about energies and frequencies matching, I mean, whether it's, you're in the 4th or 11th dimension, and then you're matching the 3rd dimension, we're able to see you. Everything is vibrating at a certain level,
Yeah.
gas, solid, liquid.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's universal. But also you do know that there's, we're missing half of reality. What people don't understand is when you see a wave or a frequency, people are just thinking about that frequency. But for every frequency, there's there's the alternate frequency. So you have dual frequency. So when all these equations we have, if you're not using like quaternion algebra or some far out thing to include all the little aspects of reality that we're missing, that other people call magic or call it metaphysical, it's stuff that it's ours to tap into, but it's there however you want to prove it.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
words are spells. That's why they call it spelling. So if, the people who heal are the ones who start talking kinder to themselves. They start talking kinder to themselves. It's not the I am sick. Everything you put after the I am is what makes you who you are. So you have to be really mindful about the frequency that you are putting out, because again, words are spells, and that's why it's called spelling. So whatever you put in writing or whatever you're thinking or speaking, you have to be very, very mindful about those frequencies. So what you see a person who's always saying, I am sick, I am hurt, I am hurting, I am sad, I am depressed, I am ADHD.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what makes you who you are. But when you go back and you tell your body, thank you, I am well, I am healing, I am love, I am, whatever you put there is what makes you who you are. So that's why it's like the power of manifestation, the power of, communication, and by doing that, it depends on the frequency that you end up putting yourself on.
All
You
right.
just gotta really believe. You gotta really, really, really sell in. I mean, all your shit depends on it. I mean, that's just the key. I mean, so
Gotta be deliberate.
well, I mean,
Gotta
like
be
when I was small, my mother, I got in a fight with my uncle because he told me that big time wrestling wasn't real. I used to watch Rocky Johnson, who was The Rock's father, and so I used to watch it. And I used to do pile drivers. I said, well, if it wasn't any pads there and he pile drive your head, that would be real, right? And he was like, no, it's not real. I said, this shit is real, right? So, I was little and I got mad and I started trying to wrestle him, everything. And he's like, man, if you don't listen to him, I'm gonna hurt you. And so I looked at it and they made me sit there. And then, I kind of knew it. I used to watch, but being so little, you just like, you want your little heroes. But I mean, it's fake, so if you're not, if you're not able to, really tell the difference, it's like whatever power you have, whatever you do. I mean, people just have to be able to do that,
Hey, Zandine, now you got me on the wrestling kick. My uncle was known as El Lobo. His real name is Fedicino Villalobos, just a village of wolves. And he wrestled with Pepper Gomez.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Pepper Gomez. Okay.
Yeah, Pepper Gomez. And sure enough, wrestling is fake, but they get injured and they die.
Oh, if you do some of those real moves without a pad, I mean, you're gonna get hurt. But I mean, because of the combat, all the martial arts stuff, I learned all just about all that because just of the energy that it has. But like she said, whatever you're saying, I mean, basically, however you want to program your trillions of cells, I mean, they're listening, they procreate, they do everything you do. I mean, so they're listening. I mean, if you're talking to them, you're controlling your reality. But then let's not forget, could this possibly be a simulation or a glitch that we're swimming in, that we're, fighting to do what we do, and we just don't know all the rules yet. And even if you have a glitch in the game, you can make something happen in a game that the computer programmers never imagined.
Yeah.
And
It's like a radio station. It's like a radio station. If you don't like the station that you're on, change the station. Maybe it's staticky where you are, so change the frequency, change the station.
And
you're right about that. Huh?
All I have to say is, do you smell what the fuck is
No, not anymore. Not anymore. No, I mean the man's done incredible work, made plenty of money. So people are like his new role. He lost a lot of weight for this
oh yeah, I
UFC
saw
role.
that.
Yeah.
I saw
You know,
that.
He
so
looks
yeah.
like a frail old man now.
Now maybe the ladies might not be too happy about that, but he said he's playing a good role. So
Yeah. Janet.
Yes.
So back to you, my dear.
Yeah.
You've been talking a lot about everything that's going on. So like in your life and kind of the way you're talking, thank the gods and God and goddess and stuff. So are you Wiccan, or do you claim to be Wiccan, or you
I
just
do not put any labels on myself at all.
Okay. All right.
I'm
But
a
you
spiritual
Stacy.
being.
That's it.
Janet, Stacy, we've got about 4 minutes, so why don't
Okay.
Janet and Peace tell everybody where they can be reached, if they've got any books. Let's like and subscribe. Sarah for Wells.
How can people reach you?
Yes.
Okay. I am on Facebook as The Evolving Spirit. You could also find me as Janet Michalk. I have both. If you want my artwork, it's J&J Cosmic Creations. Let me grab a card. I think. If not, nope, not one.
He can put the links below. Just make sure
Yeah,
you tell
I will.
Phil.
Yeah, I'll do that because I do have websites that you could also get. I am doing a group reading on the 1st at 3:00. So if somebody wants to experience what that's like, then I'm doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and like I said, I'm available for readings. I'm available for healings, guided imagery. Which yes, I have a lot of my fans are going, when are you gonna do this again? I do group past life regressions because I'm a past life regressionist.
Oh, I'm gonna get hold of you about that then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I love past life regression. So yeah, that's how you get a hold of me. I'm all over Facebook.
Janet, resin.
What?
Oh yeah.
What is that? Oh, resin.
Yes.
All right. Well, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share as much as possible so that we can get this video out to everybody.
How about you, Peace? Where can
you can find me over on Facebook under the Footsteps to Peace or Peace Unhinged Tarot or Peace Kanunamano. You can also find me over on YouTube under Peace Unhinged Tarot and on Instagram, Peace Unhinged Tarot. Otherwise, you can look me up over on my website at thefootstepstopeace.com and my new business platform. I am running events now, high-end events here in Hawaii, and we do travel to the other islands, and that is under our enchantedtablehawaii.com.
Fun.
that's a nice name. Enchanted Table. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Enchanted Table Hawaii. Check us out over on our website. It's amazing.
Good stuff,
I'm so
Peace.
excited.
And Johnny, you got buff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I've got a big thing going on right now, so I'm really stoked about it. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure listening to your story. I really do appreciate being a part of the panel. You guys are also freaking amazing, and I just adore you. So thank
Love you, Peace.
Love you.
Peace.
Thank you both.
Janet, what sign are you, Janet?
A Scorpio.
Okay, makes good sense. Okay, all right. That prayer sounds like
I had to work on that quite a bit.
That prayer sounds like a heartfelt Scorpio prayer. Esther Rowe from Good Time, one of my favorite Scorpios. Esther Rowe, the lady that played the mother on Good Times. Powerful Scorpio.
Yeah. Okay.
Powerful Scorpio.
Yep.
Dan, what are you? I forgot.
I'm an anti-Clary sign. I'm 13. I don't want to get into it.
Oh my gosh. That doesn't count.
This from the guy who asks everybody what their sign is.
I know, right?
Well, you're
Phil
not
and